us. And before we go down under, stars are gathered to shine a light on lovely Harry Enfield.
Good evening, hunters.
Hi, it's Ruby.
President, just flashing some ginger beer.
Thank you. Good evening. We are French and Saunders.
We are the Dangerous Brothers.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Ben. I'm going to be hosting the show.
Hello, everybody, Pips.
Good evening.
Hello, everybody, Peeps and Bob. Only me?
I wonder if I can count on your vote this Thursday.
No.
Right. How about Thursday week?
I'll tell you what, I've got a file of facts now, right? And it's all full of birds I've done it with, innit? No room for anything else, all birds I've done it with. No wonder I don't pronounce it philo-fax. Happy birthday.
The first inkling we had that he was going to go on the stage was when he was at York University. He joined up with a chap called Brian Elsey, and they were sponsored to go to the Edinburgh Festival to put on a thing that they'd written between them, which is called Dick and Dusty's Lucky Escape from the Germans.
It was two of us playing the entire prisoner of war camp and all the Germans and all the, you know, everyone.
We got captured, we escaped. That was the plot. Our first TV appearance, that would be the Fame game.
Can you guess who this chap is?
Why, that's uncanny. It's Neville Chamberlain to the T.
We thought that was hilarious. No one else did.
Who's this?
Well, that's easy. It's Winston Churchill. Oh, he's no friend of Winnie's. It's Herr Hitler.
Right again.
We came last, we got 16%. They had, you know, you press your button now. And Dusty and Dick.
There was a possibility that we could get onto Saturday Night Live, or was it Friday Night Live? I can't remember now. Some producer had said we could do this in Edinburgh. And so I went round to Harry's flat to see what we were going to do about this, whereupon he sacked me.
Now is the time to say goodbye.
Goodbye, Shorty.
He'd scammed himself a job on Spitting Image, doing voices.
That's over.
Now is the time to wend away.
He was brilliant because he could do all the people that everyone else thought had a normal voice, you know, Douglas Hurd.
There's been a bomb in Oxford Street! There's been a bomb in Oxford Street!
Who's responsible?
You are, you dreadful old witch!
None of the people he impersonated actually spoke like that. But like the face, you accepted it, and it went with the face.
He could do trick voices, like this little man that's stuck at the back of his throat, which he could do with his mouth shut.
Hey, let me out! Please let me out! I'm stuck in this cupboard.
Stop faffing about and put the paper bag over his head.
No, please, no.
Sorry, General boy. Someone's going to get that.
Please let me out!
Frightful programme. We absolutely hated it. Coarse and savage and unfair. Really deeply unpleasant about people who'd done nothing to deserve it, like the royal family.
Babalos, a large donor, please.
For you, Marcaz, I give bit with me on it, innit?
Thank you very much.
I wrote a sketch in which I played Prince Philip's brother. And Prince Philip came round the corner from the palace to get a kebab.
Remember how we met her first time on the beach in Court?
Look, all that's behind us now, Babalos.
And we see this nice English girl, Sanabag. And you move over to her in your small abiding trunks and gold medallion.
Yes, we all remember that, Babalos, yes.
It was called Bubalos, which wasn't my idea. And I did it, and I thought, oh, that was awful, and I couldn't, you know, I was hopeless. I couldn't do the accent nearly as well as Paul could.
I'd do this voice, I remember, you know, like a punk would come in and I'd go, bloody blimey, look at us walking through the door. There's a bloody cockatoo, innit? Next thing I know, Enfield's up on stage going, hello, my name is Stavros. I live in Greece, Bethnal, Greece, East London. I'm running a little kebab shop.
Hello, everybody, Peeps and Bob. I'm a bit knackered this week. Feeling a little bit under the unusually mild weather what we have for this time of year. It's my other shop, you see, in Greece. Bethnal, Greece, East London.
Well, we all lived in Hackney together in this jolly comedy housing estate. And the local kebab shop owner was this guy, Adam. Paul used to go in there a lot and lark about with him. And as Harry was doing Stavros, he realised that Adam was a very good source of material.
If ever there was a scuffle amongst the youths in the shop, he would say, "Please, stop your love-making. No love-making in my shop, please." He was just a very nice bloke, and he provided the kind of, you know, the basis on which to hang this character, Stavros. And I think probably of all Harry's characters, he's the most loved.
I'm so sad this week, what with the Whams boys all split up, because they speak so very nice sing-songs. And George Michael, I'm a very soft spot for him, because like me, he comes from Greece. In fact, his mother was one of my kebabs.
I was having a good look. I said, that's funny. It looks like Greek, but I don't think it's Greek. It's too clever to be Greek. Then again, the words are mine, the jokes are mine. Hello, people. Nobody has said that in my shop except me. So they changed it to hello, everybody peeps. And that fooled me for a minute.
It's the same thing every day. All very good until 11 o'clock, the pubs they shut. Time, janitors, please. Then we get the charge of the light ale. Last night, for instance, this bloke come in, is completely pig-whimpering, lose control of his bodilies. He say, "Oi, Stavros, you greasy bastard." I'ma say to him, "I'm no grease, I'm very clean and tight. You cheeky little Kuwaiti tanker."
Another funny thing with Harry, he was wearing a greasy coat in the beginning. And when I met him in real life, and I recognized him, I said, "How is you doing it?" I said, why the greasy coat? I said, he says, "Sorry, I won't do it again." And he changed. He put a clean coat the next time.
Ladies, gentlemen, fellow followers of my political persuasion. What's it, Peps? That's right, I'm a stand for election. I'm a follower in the footprints of my cows, Michael Dukakis.
On Saturday Night Live, he became topical because that's what they wanted me to do. That's where Paul came in, really, because Paul did all this beautiful language. I mean, he invented Mrs. Thatch, the ironing lady, which just sums her up perfectly to me. The iron lady, but she thinks she's a housewife and all this stuff. So that's, you know, I really enjoyed Stavros because he could use language. He could tell jokes very quickly just by getting a little bit of language wrong.
Bad evening, Peps. Well, it is for me, anyway. I'm under the influenza.
It never really, with us, gets any better than when we're poncing around in the kitchen writing it. You know, that's when we have the most fun. That's when we do it best as well.
Paul's very good at being helpful, and I go,
Harry will use the bits that work for him and chuck away the bits that have become outdated, and he's, I think one of his main characters is that the way that he moves on is fantastic, the way he can reinvent himself.
Oi, you! Shut your mouth and look at my watch! Loads of money!
This is a journey into money. Loads of money.
Loads of Money came about in 1987. I remember exactly how it happened, and I'm sure Paul and Charlie remember it differently.
Well, Harry seems to think Loads of Money came about as a result of a conversation we had on Highbury Station.
I said, "See that over there, that pole there, you can melt that down, there's money in that." And Paul took up on it straight away and just went, "Oh, there's money in that, all right. Oh, yes, you melt that down.
Get them old rails up, get them off into the old, back of the old truck.
Take that home, put it in the Black & Decker home smelter, bosh.
Shum, 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 in the lock-up, bang.
Zoom, out you come, money.
Loads of money, money, money!
Paul, being Paul, thinks if a joke's worth telling once, it's worth telling 80 times.
I persisted with this for another year. I kept saying, "You want to melt that down, mate? Oh, Harry, here's a good character for you. You want to melt it down?" And he ignored me.
This is an insult to our intelligence.
I didn't think this one joke over and over again would do.
But then it all came together when some Geordie friends of Paul's told this story about how they'd been taunted by Chelsea football supporters who all had big wads of money and would wave them at the Northerners saying, "Look at that, hey, you've never seen that before, have you? That's loads of money." And we just thought that was a fantastic way to actually open an act.
I've got piles! Piles and
Sketches about yuppies were very, very common and about people doing terribly well out of the Thatcher years. But to do this as a sort of working class made good absolute slob character was very original.
All you need to know about politics is that Mrs. Thatcher done a lot of good for the country, but you wouldn't want to shag it. That's all.
We planned it to be contemporary and real, but we never thought of it as being defining an era. That kind of happened slightly by accident.
No, I don't go to football so much now, actually, because, you know, it's £4 on the terraces now, isn't it? It's not nearly enough! I go down the opera now, don't I? You know, the opera. Lots of money, lots of money,
I only found Loads of Money to be funny once, and that was when he went to the opera and treated it like a football match. I thought that was an extremely comic idea. Otherwise, I didn't really see the point. He was going around shouting loads of money and making coarse remarks. Apparently, this is satirical.
It's great opera, isn't it? I'll tell you, especially if old Placido Domingo's playing, because he's a bollocks, that geezer, isn't he? I'll tell you, when he comes on, that is when the singing starts. Domingo, Domingo, Domingo! Domingo, Domingo, Domingo! We help him out, don't we?
If you look at it, his total screen time for Loads of Money was probably 10-15 minutes at the most. And when you consider the impact that had, it's not a lot of television time. So we wanted to do more, but Harry had really had enough of the tabloid interest, and suddenly he'd become this kind of superstar, and they were hanging outside his house taking pictures and harassing his parents.
So I killed him off.
Loads of Money's back, but not quite, because he's too rich to come on the show anymore. He will not deign us with his presence. So Harry Enfield has sent along Loads of Money's very sternest critic.
What are yo's lot looking at, you soft southern bastards? Come here, lad, shouldn't a bloody lot of yous. Look at that here. Booger old money!
Potty training is a big step. New Huggies pull-ups help make it easier. They look, feel, and go up and down like real pads, and they're absorbent, so if there's a little accident, no problem. In pull-up, she knows she's out of nappies and starts to feel quite grown up. Pull-ups. End of nappies. Start of pads. Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
You won't believe it until you've experienced the sensational feeling of Nivea Soft on your skin. It's like gentle summer rain, making your skin feel wonderfully soft. Nivea Soft, a sensational experience.
Thank you very much. Now, extras. I'm going to give you 2 years warranty, a year's insurance, a CD player, a baby seat, and this sporty number. All free.
This doesn't happen in real life.
In Iceland it does! Buy this half leg of lamb for $5.49 and get these, and this absolutely free! Are we doing a deal or are we doing a deal?
Constipation. Take Senecot for gentle relief when you wake. Go on, enjoy your day.
Senecot, natural relief for a brighter tomorrow.
I've just changed my bank. Why? Well, before I had savings, a mortgage and a current account. And I still have savings, a mortgage and a current account. But now the Woolwich manages them all together, offsetting what's in my savings and my current account against my mortgage. So I only pay interest on what's left. And just by paying my usual monthly repayments, I could take years off my mortgage.
Check out how Open Plan Offset from the Woolwich could take years off your mortgage.
You're either with us or without.
booklet on childcare careers and training, call 0800 99 6600. Childcare. Do something you love for a living.
Are you open? Open to a new spirit of hair color? Introducing the first soft permanent color gel by L'Oreal. Open Color, vibrantly natural looking color. Low ammonia gel, creating new soft permanent colors with green tea and aloe for soft touch hair.
Are you open?
New Open Color by L'Oreal. Vibrantly natural looking color with layers of color and light. Get Open, vibrantly natural looking color gel. A new spirit of hair color, because you're worth it.
Hello. Sir Norbert Smith, actor, is 80 this week, and in this special television tribute, we look back on his distinguished career on stage and in films.
I went off with Jeff Perkins and wrote Norbert Smith.
We actually took ourselves off to Ibiza to write this, and we went with a suitcase full of old Anna Neagle movies, and we were in this sort of blazing sunshine with all the curtains pulled in our underpants because it was so hot, sitting around watching these old Anna Neagle movies. And there was no actual movie that we parodied. We just got into that whole generic style of old movies.
Oh, darling, I feel so awful and ghastly and frightful and sordid and dirty.
Oh, darling, you mustn't feel like that, you mustn't.
But, darling, I do. Can't you see I feel somehow branded with this terrible, indelible stain that'll never go away, never?
It was completely different audience, you know, got lots of awards and things, but not a big audience, but it was really good fun to do.
He was teamed with Richard Smashed, Dick Booze, Oliver Guinness and Peter Apist in The Dogs of Death. As a group of slightly over-the-hill commandos, they stormed a Nazi castle and drank their way through the budget in just under 2 months. Sir Norbert, that wasn't perhaps your best film.
No.
Do you think it could be said to be ahead of its time?
Yes, I don't think that English audiences were quite ready to see a group of such distinguished British actors making such fools of themselves. But I did enjoy making it. In fact, it was on that film that I first met Jack Wilding, of course, who became a very good friend of mine. In fact, of ours. In fact, did you have an affair with him, no?
Oh, yes. He was a marvellous, imaginative lover.
Good evening. Now,
Norbert Smith was the first time that the Mr. Chumley Warner idea appeared.
catch this condition. So let me put the record straight, as clearly, concisely, and frankly as possible. It's caused by all types of sordid frightfulness.
The idea was that you took modern subjects and did them in an old-fashioned way. So we always had to, you know, take modern things like feminism and do it as they would have done it in those days.
I think the government should stay off the gold standard so that the pound can reach a level that will keep our exports competitive.
The lady has foolishly attempted to join the conversation with a wild and dangerous opinion of her own. What half-baked drivel. See how the men look at her with utter contempt.
Daphne, we're going home.
Women, know your limits.
When I started doing my series, I had to invent all these new characters, basically. And I thought of it like a football team, and I still do, really. I think I'm the manager. This is my squad. I want it to appeal to as many people as possible. So I'll do something for older people.
Yeah, they're all good. Because I'm an old kid myself.
Some for younger people.
It's not fair! I hate you!
From my own experience, if you get the children, then you get the family. So for that, you need catchphrases.
You don't want to do that, you don't want to do that. That's the wrong way to film, mate. No, you don't want to do that. Do it this way.
You dirty bugger. I don't know what it is about them, but it just seems to me that everybody can recognise somebody that they know in them. Do you know what I mean? And they're actually quite lovable, a lot of his characters.
Get out of it, you buggers. I'm enjoying this.
The old kids came out because Paul worked at Hackney Council, and there was a man there who went, "Nyeh."
And Paul would always come home and say, oh, God, he said this today, he said that. And it was always things like, that Gandhi geezer, he done a lot of good work for peace. Let himself down wearing fucking nappies, though. You know? So we wrote some gits, and Geoffrey Perkins said, oh, Paul's never done telly before, we better not use him. So we auditioned lots of people to play Paul, whose character it was. Luckily, they were all rubbish compared to Paul.
But like the Murphys, I'm not bitter.
I love little children. Yeah, did you see that change there? As soon as you put the wig on, I turned into...
Put it on wrong. I'd very much like to make love to Melinda Messenger. Nice. Kleenex.
He sees them physically, not just the way they speak, and you know, a lot of people think it's catchphrases and all that, which is all very important to it. But the look of it, I mean, they're very cartoon-like, the characters, all of them. So, you know, they're larger than life.
It's not safe round here for other people.
Good. Yeah. Give it your money.
Yeah, there's nothing in here but mints and old tissues.
You bloody cheapskate! Get out of here.
A lot of Harry's material is about the family, you know, and the claustrophobic nature of modern families and awful old people and grumpy teenagers and things. And I love it because it's so honest, you know. It's like he says things that you're not really supposed to say, you know.
Harry's back from Manchester today, isn't he?
No.
Well, that's nice. Have you missed him this week?
No.
I expect you're excited about seeing him, though, aren't you?
No.
Oh, you are a silly.
Ah, get off! I hate you!
There was a good deal of Kevin-type procedure. I don't know that he actually said he hated us, but he might have. Oh, was that part? Ah, now that is Harry. He's obviously been smartened up for a party.
They could do nothing right for 4 years. They could take me to parties. They must collect me for parties, but they must not come in.
I think I'd only done him once on Jonathan Ross, Perry the pubescent schoolboy. And Paul sort of quite fell in love with this Perry character.
Very good. Once again, you know, a little bit of humanity, because Harry's busy throwing tantrums. It's like Perry can come in and be quite nice to his mum, like you can be to other people's mums, you know. So I think Keffy, you know, once again can provide that element, you know, kind of softer.
He'll end up a little bit creepy when he's a bit older. He'd be a bit of a stalker or something. But he'd stalk really weird people, probably people like Waynetta. Do you know what I mean? He just thought he wouldn't get it right.
Are the godparents present?
We're the parents.
No, the godparents.
She just told you, we're the parents. You deaf or something?
I mean, who's the godfather?
Marlon Brando!
My favourite characters from, I think, to write and perform were Smashy and Nicey, really. They're the ones I enjoyed most.
For years, I'd been saying to him, why has no one done a DJ? There are these disc jockeys on radio all the time. They're totally out of date. They're all in the 70s. They're all talking this incredibly sort of mid-Atlantic sort of way that was obviously quite trendy in 1967 when Radio Caroline was going and things. And, you know, this is the 80s and everything's moved on, and why are they still here? The 90s by now.
You're listening to Pirate Radio Geraldine. I'm Dave Nice, saying, good golly, it's a groovy day in the North Atlantic-tastic North Atlantic. Here's the latest...
Nicey was basically Alan Freeman's sort of voice, but very much Dave Lee Travis's pomposity and thinking he was a loony and lack of sense of humour.
Literally, life on the ocean wave. Oh, look!
And DJ overboard there. Let's continue with the Kinks and a dedicated follower of fashion.
Smash is basically Noel Edmonds' sense of humour with Tony Blackburn's voice and with a bit of Simon Bates's earnestness when he wanted to be earnest.
Now, I don't know why we went for a blonde orange, World of Orange tan look. Harry suggested the teeth, which was a very good choice.
I love the Wombles. They really were great in a sort of short programme before the news type way. And I think we've all got a little bit of the Womble in us, haven't we? And I bet you got a bit of the Womble in you, ain't you, Nicey?
Well, I do know the Pet Shop Boys, if that's what you mean.
They offended DLT, I think. Paul came in with this copy of Q magazine and said, look at this, there's an interview with DLT, and this was a massive quote saying, what's so funny about Smashy and Nicey? I don't think they're funny, or something like that. I thought, brilliant, and he laid into us and laid into all the young DJs and just did this total Nicey.
Objectastically wise words, mate, in a Chippendale Mungus type way.
But they had to die because they all got the sack. Poor old chaps.
So, talking of which, I've been thinking of moving you two.
Sir, do I hear the snap, crackle and rock of people eating their brekkie while we're on air?
No, it's more like the clink-clink of people stirring their Horlicks.
You don't mean...
It can't be. Not radio quiet.
What Harry does on his shows is really what he does in life. I mean, he can impersonate anybody in life, and he gets you, doesn't he? He doesn't just get your voice, but he gets you.
Look what he done to me. He put me on the map. If he was no good, I would never have existed.
Oh, definitely. We wouldn't... no, we wouldn't.
None of us be here.
No. Well, we'd be here.
People say he's the new Dick Emery, but no, he's leagues higher than that. Because he's got a view of the world, Harry. That's what makes him so interesting as a comedian and a comic writer. Along with Paul Whitehouse, they think a lot. These are highly intelligent, very well-informed people who have a view.
He's just warm, clever, funny, generous, kind, talented. I just love him. Put that ink set to fucking piss him off.
Hello, Whispering Mike Smash here. And a bumbling Sir Dave Nice. And a big hello to all you truckers out there.
He's bonkers, isn't he, in a sleepy sort of way. And we're here to guide you through the night with some of the very best in adult-orientated, mega, middle-of-the-road mungus, light country jazz sounds.
And a big hello there to all you truckers.
Hope one of us gets what we want.
Yeah, me too.
Ibiza, Euphoria, mixed by Dave Pearce.
I think the ladies have had enough.
Does your mum know you're out?